What's up, guys, and welcome back to another weapon review, or in the international language of GRP, Shema and Kurva ya Pirdola. Now, most people are going to have the GI weapons I'm going to be talking about because the GI Tier 10 weapons, because most people have the Infinite Pack. So this isn't a review so much for people who are considering buying these weapons. Although if you don't have the Infinite Pack, of course, you could consider, should I get the Infinite Pack? But this is basically just my opinion then. So, take it all with a grain of salt. Just my opinion and my take on these weapons, and then I'll have some comments afterwards. We'll start with assault. We'll look at the M27H. Now, I really do not like this weapon, and I can give you a number of reasons why. And there are a lot of reasons. Well, for one thing, I don't like the sound. That seems like a petty thing, a small thing. But the reality is, folks, that sometimes you want to use a gun because it sounds cool. And sometimes you don't want to use a gun because it doesn't sound cool. If we have a listen, that doesn't sound cool. But that's kind of a minor issue, I think. The sound of the gun is not really a huge deal. You can accept it. My main issue, my main beef with this gun is that I find it only really usable with a short barrel. And I think when you're applying barrel attachments to a weapon, you should have options. That is to say, instead of saying, this is really only usable with a short barrel, yeah, you can use it with a medium barrel, you can kind of use it with a long barrel, but the fire rate just, goes down to 700, then it's going to 6. So, is this a bad weapon? Not really, but the problem is we have all these other special edition weapons. Now, granted, if you don't have this Tier 9 special edition weapons, then this is a pretty decent weapon. But I would definitely use something like the AKH over it. It's got its two special perks, that insane burst mode with the fire rate, right? And it's got 60 rounds. My personal favorite these days, however, is almost certainly the fabulous MK16H SV Black. It just offers the widest range of application on the battlefield. It's long barrel, so super accurate. It's got a very nice rate of fire ratio to damage per bullet. I love, the burst mode. It seems, it's not on par with AN94, but I really like the burst mode. I use it all the time on big maps, long range encounters on nukes or metro or whatever. Excellent for taking out snipers. It's definitely my favorite assault rifle. And it's just, this particular gun is just so much better than the M27 GI. And of course you have what are now classics like the AN94, which I only use on super long range encounters, but it's still the AN94 Halloween, whatever. And even the Mod Masters. And of course, AS-FAL, which I don't really use anymore. I used to use it a lot. And recently, what I've been using a lot on CQC has been the F2000 Bodark, just because, that fire rate and DPS, highest DPS of any gun in the assault arsenal. But even, let's say you don't have the special edition. Let's say you just have Modmaster AKH, 12H, and the N94, and that's what they're still better, because those guns actually bring something unique to the battlefield, if you want to put it that way. What do I mean by that? Well, the N94 has its really unique burst mode, highly accurate. The AS-FAL still has that laser quality, even if it isn't the Watch Dogs edition. And yeah, the AK-12, you can do a lot of things with the Mod Master. And one thing you can do is what I've tried on Tom's is quite good, the grip with a short barrel. You can also just go bipod. You're going to have slightly more DPS than the special edition with this setup, and it's still pretty good and still quite controllable. And you still have that super cool burst mode. Honestly, I don't really see any reason to use the M27 GI over these other guns. Yeah, with a short barrel, it has okay DPS, but nothing special. It has no burst mode. I don't like it. I don't like the way it sounds. That's just my opinion. It sounds awful. Shotgun, you look at the shotgun, first take, well, you're thinking, oh wow, where the hell is the bloody shotgun? Can't seem to find it. Must be higher up. But, the first look at the shotgun, you're thinking, oh, well, yeah, let's look at this thing. I haven't actually used it on assault. I only used it on support, but what, same thing, right? Same gun. Yeah, it's got the armor piercing, I'll grant you that, but it's really lacking in the fire rate department, I think. And I think, once again, looking at some of the special edition shotguns, such as the M3A1H SPACR, possibly still the best one, the Halloween Mark 1. There we go. In my opinion, still a lot better choices because of the fire rate to damage ratio, even though the GI version does have 25% armor piercing, but so what? So the assault weapons are kind of meh. I personally wouldn't recommend using them, but that's up to you. Yeah, look, you can still do well with it. Tons of people do. I actually had a pretty good match with a short barrel M27 GI H, but I just don't want to use this thing. I don't like it. So assault weapons, meh. I'll be making some comments about future weapons in a bit. Okay, Recon. So the Recon, however, got a nice deal with the GI Modmaster weapons. Let's look at the sniper first. As all of you know, not much of a sniper, but I have been doing a bit of sniping with this gun, the M24H, and it's quite nice. It's probably the best, it's easily the best bolt-action sniper out there. What I did with it is I put a short barrel on it because of settle time and reload and what have you, and yeah, just put a splinter cell sniper scope on it, mandatory, and a grip, and sometimes went to town with it. Really, really nice sniper rifle. No real complaints. I mean, it's got pretty good armor piercing, 55%, and obviously pretty good damage. It's still bolt action, so you can't just keep on firing, but that fire, you can still recover pretty quickly. Yeah, good sniper rifle. No real complaints there. Definitely recommend using it. MP5H, probably the best all-around SMG out there right now. I say all-around. There's still times when I just feel like using other ones, but this is, you can make this work with any of the barrels, so you have all those options. For example, if you don't want to snipe on Metro as a Recon, put on a long barrel. Yeah, you're going to lose some DPS, but look at that, 53 control and 75 accuracy. You can, look at that, I'm standing at 60 meters, right? And that's the control of this thing, right? You crouch and it's even better, obviously. Full auto. See, okay, 100 meters doesn't really work, but my point is, this setup works really well in long range maps. What if you're on toms? You go short barrel, then you get a lot more DPS, tighter spread, and still pretty good damage. This is a really, really nice SMG. The sound is pretty cool. It's not too bad, and it's got just a lot of benefits compared to the others, right? It's got that extra 5% crit. So, when you are hip firing like this, right, you still have the 6%. Reload time is pretty good, especially if you don't go extended and you go twin. I don't really like having 30 rounds, so I don't do that. And yeah, it's got quite a good DPS with a short barrel, good fire rate, amazing control for an SMG. No real complaints here. This is a solid weapon. Now, there are still times when I just feel like having, all that ammo. I love having 100 rounds, so I often use this gun, the M960 ACR, still really, really effective. I was doing some amazing rounds the other day with this, just because of the ammo. Or, you know, these are still solid choices, but I'd say the the MP7H black and the MP9HC rainbow. But this one here is probably at the moment the best SMG out there overall. And of course, one thing I sometimes still use is the Vector. I hate the lack of ammo, but that DPS Halloween, it's still pretty insane. But yeah, the Recon weapons are really good, and in particular the SMG gives you a lot of options. It works with a medium barrel, it works with a long barrel, it works with a short barrel. It works with whatever setup you feel comfortable with, and you can mix it up. If I go on Tomsk, I might put a short barrel on. If I'm on Nukes, I might go to medium. If I know I'm going to be on, say, Robitech or Metro, I'll put a long barrel and so on. So it's a good weapon. There are no complaints here. Nice weapon. This is support. Get away from the AK here. So yeah, this was the setup I was actually using with the shotgun. Not that great. I already talked about the shotgun. It's just, I think, not really worth using compared to some of the others. So let's talk about the MK5H. This is somewhere in between the quality of the MP5H and the M27 GIH. Yeah, this is, it's not bad, but once again, lack of fire rate, a lot of damage per bullet. I'll grant you that. But I think once again we have a weapon here that is best used with actually a short barrel, because you want that fire rate, and it still has a pretty high damage that way. But I hate the sound, to be honest, and especially in the LMG department, there are just a ton. There are a ton of other choices. I mean, on a lot of maps, I would 100% use if you have this gun, of course, the M240L Halloween. This thing still mows down enemies like nobody's business. Really, really solid weapon. I like the sound a lot. And yeah, it's just, love this weapon still. Best all-around LMG is still, where the hell is it? I would say the MG 36H Rainbow. Yeah, this is still got the best damage per bullet to fire rate ratio control. Just really solid weapon. Yeah, can't really beat this. This is much better than the GI gun. It's got more DPS. Not necessarily more control, and obviously not more damage per bullet, but it just sort of balances out into a much better weapon. And yeah, for people who are into CQC, and sometimes I'll use this. Obviously, there is this. This is the best CQC weapon in the game, probably, or gun. That's not a shotgun. M249H Para black. Just, yeah. Still just a lot better than the GI, say with a grip or a short barrel. And even this, I think weapons need a high fire rate, but in this case, the damage per bullet is so insane that I sometimes use it as a sniper. I stack a Phantom Scope on it, put in some Magnum, and the crit, because the Ubisoft fixed the crit damage on this. You can get some high damage crit shots. Let's see, not working now, but yeah, 139 at 100 meters, a body shot for 139 with an LMG. Another 210 hit crit shot. I mean, so yeah, this is just a really nice long range weapon I use pretty much as. And yeah, the GI weapon, sorry, the M2 500H, it just doesn't fit in there for me. It just, it's not bad, but I think there are a lot of other choices that are better. So now, of course, one thing all these weapons have, these new weapons, is 5% extra armor piercing. But you know what that actually translates to? In actuality, that's 1 or 2% more damage. That's nothing, not even worth it. Now, as far as my thoughts on the release of this, yeah, I made a wrong prediction. I thought originally that Ubisoft would be finally releasing those new skins or the new models that I talked about in the previous video. They didn't, and that was disappointing. And the fact that there were GI weapons was even more disappointing. Now, I don't know what's going on with Ubisoft. I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, that they only have 4 people on the developer team, so they just don't have basically the human resources to get the stuff done. You know, imagine if they had 2 or 3 times that many people. Okay, then they probably could, release new gun models, finish maps, fix servers, broken matchmaking, all the problems this game has. And this game has so many problems. We had server issues again yesterday, every day now. But in the future, I think they're not going to release super overpowered weapons, if only because they don't want the gap between Tier 9 and Tier 10 to be too big. But frankly speaking, a lot of the special edition and even the Mod Master Tier 9 weapons are just better than the Tier 10 ones that we have right now. That doesn't mean they can't release Tier 10 weapons that are going to be really good. In fact, I think they will, limited edition, special edition, whatever you want to call them. And they'll probably be reskins. One thing I'd love to see is a Tier 10 CBJ, if they're going to release a reskin, that is, because that damage per bullet. But yeah, I think we're gonna probably see some limited edition. That are reskins. I really hope it's not the fucking GI. I hope it's not. Well, the SMG, SP, MP5. I mean, that's gonna just be lame. But whatever. I guess we can see. So I don't think we can expect too much in the weapons department. That's going to be just amazing. I might be wrong. Who knows? Maybe Ubisoft will get off their asses and actually make the models that I'd shown before that they originally planned. But who knows? They might not either. Who knows? I can't predict Ubisoft anymore. I don't know what's going on with them. I know they're making a lot of money off of this game, and it doesn't seem to be going into the game. It just seems to sort of disappear. Servers seem to be down every night for about an hour where you can't connect to games and you can't load into the game. The matchmaking is just it's totally broken. You're playing in your team with majors and colonels, and there's nothing wrong with being a major and colonel, but you shouldn't be playing with 5-star generals against 5-star generals. It just doesn't work. And yeah, repetitious maps. I'm going to give this game a while more, but I don't know. If they keep on doing what they've been doing, I think I'm going to stop playing and subsequently stop paying Ubisoft. I mean, I know, you guys know, I've actually paid Ubisoft a lot of money, and I don't feel like I've gotten my money's worth. So hopefully they actually listen to a well-paying customer. If not, then, there are plenty of other games. And, if anything, GRP opened my eyes to the possibilities of shooters, and I'm much more open-minded since this was and is the only shooter I play. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know what your opinions and comments are on the GI weapons. Like I said, I'm not really a fan of them except for the Recon weapons, but maybe you like them for different reasons, whatever. But yeah, everyone take care, and I'll see you for the next open discussion and or weapon review. Next time they release weapons, I'll be sure to cover them. So everyone take care. Bye-bye.